Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Motegi Winter Ring Motegi here for the Prestige Cup Series. Once again for the Motegi 195 here at Motegi here in Japan. So the first time that the Prestige Cup Series is going to go across the world, really. I wouldn't say not across the pond. We're not in England, but here for uh, an out-of-country experience. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here at Twin Ring. No Peter Terry on the booth, as he's actually getting ready to go back to college. So, wishing the best luck to Peter on his endeavors there. But looking at some of your fastest drivers in practice right now, take a look at this number 33, this 39. Actually, we'll take a look at your third place driver, Joseph Smith, in this number 31 machine. Joseph, remember, was back here in this podium spot last week, I believe. If not, ran really well last week in this number 31 machine. Chipotle on the side of this car for tonight's race. A nice looking hot rod for that driver. Looking back throughout the field for drivers who are still on the track. Looks like Blair Saunders in this 98 coming out. Currently P8 in practice. Good run for that number 98 machine. Darren Valley in the 01. At the P9, and Benjamin Bushnell in that recognizable blue and yellow machine, the Nike machine, back there in P10. And Alex Eskridge back here in 11th. Alex almost getting up here, cracking into the top 10. Currently sitting one spot out. We're talking about Twin Ring. Obviously, a lot of people know Twin Ring Motegi for their road course, but obviously we see now that they actually do have a oval here in Japan with Twin Ring that we're running at today. Gonna be completely transparent. This is the first time we have broadcasted. This is the first time I've watched a race here at Twin Ring, especially here in these next gen cars. Had to buy it to call the race for you fans at home, so we're gonna learn a little bit together. But looking from some research before the broadcast, this unique kind of shaped racetrack. It's 1.5 miles, but it's kind of shaped kind of like a gateway style track. And we'll go ahead and look at your blimp cam here. We'll show you kind of the shape of this track. It looks a lot like a bigger gateway, which is really interesting to see here. Take a look at the track here. 1.5 miles, so it's just your generic 1.5 miles. I guess you could call it kind of similar to Darlington. Or you could call it, a bigger gateway with some banking in the corners, which makes it a lot different than Gateway in terms of that. Obviously, Gateway, one of your bigger style short tracks that we come to on the schedule. But Gateway, a flat surface, very flat, very low grip track, versus here, where it's 1.5 miles. And you have that banking in the corner you see back there in the 3 and 4. Can't really see 1 and 2 as well with our blimp cam right now. We'll see if maybe our drone cam can give you a little bit of a different angle here. Not really, but just like that, we'll get ready to go into qualifying for tonight's race. Qualifying, I feel like it's going to mean everything here, just because this track is is a big unknown here at Twin Ring, and it's gonna make it interesting to see who can step up to the plate here and kind of adapt the quickest here to this new track that we're coming to. Obviously, Twin Ring, not a track that you would even see in a hosted session. So, or we're not hosted in an official, right? So, looking at the Discord, we are using a custom VRS set for Twin Ring here. We're going to ride on board with White Youngblood, but looks like he had some connection issues. We'll go back to this 45 of Eskridge, who was sitting there P11 in practice. See if he can take us around for some laps here for his qualifying run. See him start his lap. Go ahead and ride on board with him on his nose cam. Gonna try to go down there and wrap this bottom line here. Try to get a good exit out. Try to get up all the way up to the wall here. Oh, he's going to get loose and he's going to spin out. Someone you want to see here. Go back to someone else. Oliver Quinney making his first lap out. Quinney's been someone who's ran up front week in and week out. And he's someone you're going to have to look at this race. No, he just has this raw pace, a raw talent in this next-gen machine, especially with this new update. We've seen some drivers kind of rise to the top here. And now sitting currently P2 with a 35.9. Currently pole sitter right now is Blair Saunders, 35.7. But remember, this Quinney machine has one more lap to set something better. You see him in this Rush Trucking Center Red Bull machine. Homage to an SHR paint scheme. See the 41 come back across the line here. Looks like he might be a little bit faster this lap. Maybe not. No, did not match that lap time, so we'll go back with someone else. Kendorian Davis starting his first lap in his number 88 machine. Kendorian very consistent throughout these first couple weeks here in the Prestige Cup Series. Dorian's been one of those drivers who's been consistently, I would say, a top 4, top 5 car. Just has not had the best luck when it comes to completing your races and getting the finishes he deserves. I feel like he should be, you know, up here talking to us in the booth after the race a lot. Just gets caught up in stuff out of his doing right now. And Dorian sitting P13, 36.1. In the second lap, looks like he is in the green here by a big margin. Losing it down the straightaway, maybe got a little bit tight. And Kendorian Davis goes up to P2, 35.64. Good lap for that 88 machine. Eskridge across the line to complete his second lap. By him P6, 35.8. Good lap for that number 45 machine. Looking at some more drivers on track. Out on track, White Youngblood sits to P8. In the park that machine, you see the 51 of Andrew Tenold. P12, Brian White. P15 back there in pit road. Completed his laps. And the last car on track is that 09 of Nicholas Hammonds. He sits currently P17. One driver left to at a time, that's Dalton Bernius in the 69 machine. Has decided not to come on track yet, and it looks like he's not going to have enough time to go out on track. So looking at your scoring pile on the left, it looks like Joseph Smith going to be your pole sitter for tonight's race at Twin Ring Motegi. You'll see right there, right behind them, Kendorian Davis in that 88 machine. And Joseph, someone you're going to have to look at now to be a contender. Remember, was really quick last week. Showing up really strong here once again. Will be your pole sitter 2 weeks in a row here in the Prestige Cup Series. Like that, qualifying completed here from Japan. And we'll get ready to get your race started. We'll wait on some of these drivers to in their machines. Remember, especially here for like a track like this where there's unknown, you're gonna have a lot of drivers who are gonna try to tinker with the setup a little bit when it comes to brake bias, when it comes to maybe the rack and steering pinion that these next gen machines have. You can mess with the master cylinders, which is something that you can only do here with the next gen machine. So you're gonna see a lot of drivers try to go about that, doing it that way. So we'll wait on a couple more drivers to get in here, and we'll start your starting lineup here, presented by HVTV. We'll start doing that. Joseph Smith going to be your pole sitter there with that 35.5, with Kendoring Davis going to run out that row 2. Blair Saunders, Jordan Fisher going to be that row 2. My apologies. Oliver Quinney, that 41 going to be P5 with Alex Esgrid. Good qualifying lap for him at P6. Joseph Enright, White Youngblood, P7 and P8. Dak Case in that 66. And Darren Valley going to round out your top 10. Gabriel Golding, that 55, going to be P11, with Andrew Tenold going to sit on his outside bit there in P12. Benjamin Bushnell, P13 in that 25 machine, with Jeffrey Hetrick, P14. Running out your top 15, Brian White and Dustin Hardy back there in P16. P17 is going to be Nicholas Siemens, Justin Wilkes, and rounding out your field back there in P20, Dalton Bernius, who did not set a lap time down here from Twin Ring Motegi. We'll take a look at your race weather for tonight's race. 72 degrees here with the track humidity of 84%. Remember, it's always humid here in these in these prestige races. I love to see it. But you see that 20 to 29% humidity with a little bit of wind, but not enough to affect anything. So it's going to be a great race. Great day for racing here at Motegi, but leave the lights off on the pace car. Some people to look for before we get going green here. Obviously, you have to look at this pole sitter of the 31. And Dorian Davis back there in P2 with a good lap. Look at Jordan Fisher. He's been very consistent throughout the whole race. So a couple to look at here. But we will see your pace car. All right, we're going to take a hard left back here on the pit road. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Obviously, we're still trying to learn the track here, as this is our first time here in Japan, here for the HVTV studios. We're taking a look at some more drivers to look for. Oliver Quinney back there in the 41 has looked very promising throughout the race, throughout these last couple races. White Youngblood, as the pace, just hasn't been able to put together a good finish. I feel like Youngblood has been one of those guys who have had terrible luck all year here in the second season, but some guys to look at. Obviously, there's going to be some underdogs that you're going to have to look at throughout the race that maybe has a little bit more experience here at Twin Ring. Maybe not in this cup car, but I feel like just time in the sim is just going to be invaluable compared to some others. Some people are going to come in here pretty brand new, never ran this track, maybe just had to buy the track to race tonight. And that's why you might see a little bit of a shortage of people here tonight. 20 cars showing up here for tonight at Twin Ring. But I still think this will put on a great show for the fans at home. You know, Twin Ring, probably not the most popular track here for these NASCAR enthusiasts, I would say. But, you know, it's on the schedule. And if you want to come out here and race for a championship, it's a track you're going to have to buy and go. But now you're going to see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road, I believe. No, lights are off on the pace car, but the pace car's not pulling off. That's the second lap we've had the lights off. We'll do one more pace lap. But everybody's on track. Everybody's just waiting for the pace car to come down pit road to start this race here. Remember, 130 laps. Was not informed on the stages or anything for tonight's race, so we'll just try to call that by ear. If anybody in the chat would know, that'd be very insightful information. We got some fans in the chat. Fan of the 08 and the 69. We got some Dustin Hardy fans as well. Bryce Young. A lot of people up in the booth, up here in the chat, cheering on their favorite driver. Love to see that. Love to see that these drivers have people that could count on them to come cheer them on. It's something that I always look forward to, sharing the broadcast with friends and family, and we're glad to have you guys here. Hopefully we can put on a good show for you guys at home. But now the pace car will take a hard left on the pit road. And this 31 and the 88 machine, Kendorian Davis, Joseph Smith, will lead us to green here at Motegi. Coming across the track, we're going to stay clean and green here as Joseph Smith will lead your first lap here at Twin Ring Motegi. Kendorian Davis back there trying to hunt him back down though. Not going to give it up. You see Kendorian using a little bit of a lower lane to try to get side by side with the 31. Going to tuck back in line. A little bit of battling back here towards the back. Wyatt Youngblood trying to make up some spots, looking underneath the 01 machine. That is Jaron Valley. Now one machine, so the 01 and just the number one, and it looks like the 55 is going to go around in the back. Gabriel Goalie might have got some help there from someone else, but we'll have to go and take a look back and see what happened to this 55 machine. Look at that chopper cam. Like the 49 just trying to check out for the 51. 51 just was a little bit shallow into the corner, and the 49 had to check up for him. Obviously, a lot of these drivers trying to learn this track, especially this is our first lap under green. 49 gets up and then the 51. Nothing that the 51 did wrong. Nothing really that the 49 did wrong there. Just a little bit of a checkup going into the corner, and 49 kind of reacted a little bit. Was trying to stay off of the 51, and he's going to take that 55, and the 55 is going to spin it out here on the outside wall. Unfortunate for the 55 of Gabriel. Obviously, long race to go, but that's not the way I think he imagined the start of this race would go. Obviously, I don't think that's what the 49 wanted to do either, because remember, we do have, at least for most of these races, we should have a race control that will be calling out those cautions, and be putting blame at the fault of someone else. So obviously that was clearly the 49 making a little bit of a mistake, and you already see him in the back of the pack here due to causing that incident. See Nicholas Amos down pit road here in this 09 machine. Looks like maybe topped off on fuel. A 4.9 second stop, so that's a good guesstimation. Gabriel Goalie back there trying to get some more damage fixed on that 55 machine. You see some left rear damage. Besides that left rear, looks like mostly pretty clean car for that 55 machine. We did finally find the race day announcements here. So we do get a stage break at lap 40. The drivers do get like four sets of tires, including the one on their car. 4 in the pits, 1 on the car. So five sets of tires, 70% fuel. Obviously, we see here afternoon here at Motegi. So we will get that stage caution at lap 40. Just like that. That's shaking up some of the standings here. Obviously, we see some guys move up through the field. We see the 66 of Jack Case. And that Toyota move up 3 spots. We also have some people moving back. The 45 of Eskridge down 4 spots. Well, obviously, New playing ground for these Prestige Cup drivers here in Japan here at Twin Ring Motegi. Some guys are going to take a little bit, are going to be a little bit more aggressive. Some guys are going to be a little bit more passive, trying to figure out this new track that these guys are going to have to handle for another 125 laps. You see the lights on the pace car off, which means we will be taking that hard left turn back on the pit road. And we'll get ready to restart your race here with 6 go here as the 31 will lead us back to green. Side by side going into turn 1 for Kendorian Davis and the 31 and Joseph Smith. Smith with a good launch in the turn 1. Gonna get clear, but a battle back here for the top 5. It looks like the 7 gonna try to go around now. 3 wide back here. Little 3 wide is the 01 gonna try to put that 7 3 wide. Is okay as the 7 will get 2 wide. Now back to 3 wide is Youngblood will try to look on the outside of the 7 machine. 66 with an issue. Gonna drop back there, but still side by side. The 01 and the 7 machine gonna try to go side by side in the turn 1 and 2. Aaron on the bottom, Joseph on the top. Still side by side out of turn 1 and 2. See them go back at it. That case, oh, almost put the bumper to the 45's gonna have to check up. The 45's loose. Good catch by them. It looks like we have someone around here in the back. Bushnell and the 25 around here, back here. Caution will wave. What happened back here between the 25? Looks like maybe got some help or something. Putting back out of the corner down the straightaway. Coming into the corner here. Like the 86 just overdrove the corner, getting into the back of the 25. Around he's gonna go. Looks like the 86 doing a good job of just sliding him, try to save it, but too little too late for the 25. Like that will be another caution here on lap 8. Now coming to lap 9. Dorian Davis took your lead away from your race leader of Joseph Smith. So Kendorian Davis will lead his first laps of the race. And man, Twin Ring has already started to put on some interesting racing. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be a learning curve for probably the first half for some of these drivers. Probably haven't had a lot of time racing side by side, 2, 3 wide. Except here in the race, obviously they had an hour of practice, but a lot of the time, you know, a lot of guys will come in here a little bit later just to get in here and run a couple laps before qualifying. And even then, some of the guys who got in here early, I think there was a lot of just single car runs here during practice that I watched. Had a lot of, you know, pack racing. They try to figure out how the car is going to race in this dirty air around other cars. So I feel like it will be a learning curve for a lot of these drivers to figure out where they need to place their car, what line is better, right? Obviously, we saw some guys go up there, try to run the top. I don't know if that's going to be the best lane here, because we saw them start to drop to the back there. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers adapt to the track and everything else. And that's something you'll have to think about, right? This track will right in the afternoon, so this track will probably get a little bit hotter as the race goes on. With the drivers laying down rubber and everything else, it will probably change the way this track will drive throughout the race. You know, going back to 1 to go, you'll see side by side. The 88 will be on the bottom. The 31 on the outside, so you see the front 2 switch spots here. This time, Kendorian Davis will get to dictate when we go back to green here once we get into the restart zone. The Oliver Quinney, Jordan Fisher, I would say 2 very competitive cars back up there, running out your Fast Four. Blair Saunders back there in the 98. Back there in P6. Joseph Enright surprised me a little bit today in the 7 machine. Has just been consistently back here in this, I would say, 5th to 8th place spot. Is looking pretty fast tonight in that WeatherTech machine. Continue to see some movers through the field as Jaron Valley up 3 spots, Blair Saunders down 3 spots. So we'll see some comers and goers as people start to figure out the car as they drives. And once again, you'll see the 88 lead us back to green here from Twin Ring. Good jump out of the 88, now side by side. Jordan Fisher is going to take advantage of that good jump from the inside. Going to get side by side with that 31 machine of Joseph Smith. Side by side going down the backstretch. '39 still there going into turn 3. Jordan going to go out there, try to paint that yellow line versus the 31 who's going to try to use the top. Not going to make it work as the 39 one was way up into the P2 position. They're getting racy back here for the top 5 position. That's the 41 in the 1 machine. Oliver Quinney driving his way up to the field here. Back to P6, started P5. They're trying to drive his way through the field as they're side by side back here. The 1 machine gonna try to get around the 98. Blair Saunders trying to hold off this Taco Bell machine. You're already starting to see that this bottom lane, I feel like, is going to be the one you want to be at throughout the race here. But we have a battle for the lead already pursuing. 39 has jumped up to the top. And to try to get around this 88 the hard way. On the top lane, you see and Dorian Davis now. Jordan Fisher with the run off the top, side by side, out of 3 and 4, out of 1 or 2. Just like that, Jordan Fisher completes the pass. He'll lead his first laps tonight at Twin Ring Motegi. Dorian Davis not going to give it up though. They try to get side by side once again, going to 3 and 4. Not quite going to get there. I'm super impressed with this 39. He's been one of the guys to kind of move around and try to find grip somewhere else. Everybody else has been trying to just kind of run the bottom. You see Jordan kind of run that middle line. So I was a little bit slower though, but Dorian gave him the benefit of the doubt, lifted for him. Because I think everybody's trying to learn where they need to run right now. He just top 3 under a blanket. The 31. Gonna try to make a move maybe at this 88 machine. Ain't gonna make of it yet. Everybody's starting to get single filed out. Trying to figure out, you know, their pace here and just kind of settle in here. Remember, 25 laps until we get that stage break at lap 40. If you want a chance, race for the stage. I feel like right now tire conservation is happening right now. Some battling back here. 77, a Wyatt Thompson making his way through the field here. Bringing back there at 7th where he qualified. Side by side with Blair Saunders in that 98 machine. Saunders going to try to look on the outside of the 01. Saunders with the... Oh, you see the 55 around in the back. Caution will wave. Take a look and see what happened to this 55 machine. I believe this is coming out of third and four. I would see this 55 have a mistake. Running that middle line. And I think his car just crossed the seam there. That's that first and second seam and loop it around there, but no harm, no foul. Obviously the tires are gonna be a little bit beat up there, but no damage to the machine there. But him sitting there sideways on the middle of the track is definitely gonna be cause for a caution. So pace car will come out one more time here at Twin Ring. So our third caution of the race here at Motegi. And it's something that I wouldn't say you fans at home should be surprised about. Like, we've talked about it time and time again on the broadcast, that this is kind of a brand new track for a lot of these drivers. Obviously, iRacing doesn't even have a setup for this car track combo, so they had to go to some third-party manufacturers to get a decent set for these drivers, and I think that is just a wild card in itself. Because for someone who, well, for people who have gotten used to the fix set in this cup car that iRacing gives out, the best way to put it is these cars drive a certain way with the way iRacing has the sets made. And these guys have been using this iRacing fix set throughout the whole season here, and they'll be given just a setup from a third-party vendor that probably doesn't drive the way probably the fix set would, like a fix set would, I guess. It probably is gonna throw some of these guys off their game here tonight. Not only, you know, are we driving in a track that a lot of these guys have never even come to. We're driving a different set that probably drives a lot more differently than the generic fix sets do, right? A lot of these, especially for these mile and a halves, these fix set cars, you know, load off the truck pretty tight, and they'll build loose as the run goes on. And potentially, it looks like from some incidents that we've already seen before, looks like these cars are pretty spinny on exit already. Which is something that these drivers are not used to when it comes to, like, the way the car is generally set up. That's something to think about. You do see the lights on the pace car one more time, which means we'll be going green this time for a 20-lap dash to the end of stage one. We're looking at that 39 machine, looking really quick, just like always. Jordan Fisher, remember, didn't have the best race last week. Got caught up in some wrecks out of his doing, but lucky for him, didn't lose the points lead, as Jacob Quill, who was going to take over your points lead, was removed from the league due to a controversial interview he had with us up here in the booth. Admins did not like the way he talked to us up in the booth, as we have, you know, young children and everything else who watch the broadcasts, and that was a lucky day for Jordan Fisher. So he will retain the lead and gonna cap off this start of the run strong here as he'll lead us back to green. Once again, a good jump by the 33, but side by side for P2, Kitori Davis gonna try to use the bottom to get around the 31 machine. That Chipotle car of Joseph Smith. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 88 and the 31 going down the backstretch. As that 31's hanging tough there on the top lane. We've seen that the top right now has not been the preferred line here at Twin Ring. But that 31 holding strong there on the top, trying to keep this 88 back. The 31 driver really deep into the corner. Gonna get a run off the top. Gonna still stay side by side going down the back stretch. 31 will finally clear, trying to hold off this 88. 88 looking really aggressive, trying to get back around the 31. Remember, Dorian led a couple laps. They lost the lead there to the 39, but we do have some good racing back here outside the top 3. Oliver Quinney leading this fourth on back. Joseph Enright's going to get clear, but side by side, 3 wide. The 77's going to go try to look 3 wide here and make some moves. Thompson couldn't make the bottom work, but side by side, it's the 01 and the 98. Valley and Saunders trying to make something happen. And once again, here comes Youngblood on the bottom, 3 wide. Ooh, had to back out of it there. The 98 kind of cut his nose off. But oh, a huge mistake. As Valley's going to hit the outside wall, and he's going to drop back outside of the top 10. Wyatt Thompson going to be right back on the perch, trying to get the back at the rear end of this 98 machine. He'll drop back in line. Get that downshift in play here at Twin Ring. And I love to see these different lines that these drivers are experimenting with right now. Saw Wyatt Thompson and then used the top to try to get a good run out. That time, trying to make something happen. And now you see now, this 98 used the top. Gonna try to get a better run out of the corner, and you see them trying to pedal this car out around the track here. And now that battle will calm down for just a little bit. We do have a battle here for the 10th place. Eskridge and around Ryan Tenold. Andrew Tenold, my apologies. The 45 going to try to move his way back up to the field. Remember, this 45 qualified P6. We're back here in 10th. Oh, drop back all the way back to 13th place. They're trying to make a rebound here as we get ready to close into the end of stage 1. See him trying to make a move on the 01 now. If I'm going to drive it down here under the bottom. And try almost doing a little bit of a slide job. He's going to make it work as the 45's loose, actually. He's going to spin it out here on, out of turn 3 and 4. Caution will wave. We just saw that live. Take a look back and see what happened. We just saw right there. Dove in the corner to try to get around the 01. And just could not keep it, could not stick it down there. So you see him side by side going down the backstretch. And it just loses on his own. Maybe a little bit of help from the 1, but he was already way around by the time the 01 Valley got to him. The caution will wave here once again at Twin Ring Motegi. Jordan Fisher will continue to lead some laps. Continue to hopefully get some precious bonus points here. Obviously, you do get a bonus point for leading laps here. I'm not sure if you get bonus points for leading the most laps, but right now, I believe probably this 39 is in contention for that. 15 out of the 28. Yeah, he's right on the dot there. Almost, just a little over half the laps led here for this 39 machine. Don't count out this 31 though. You saw him get around the 88 once again on the outside at that. So we know this 31 has some pace. We'll see if it's enough to contend with this 39. The 39 has just been so strong all season long. Everywhere we've gone, he's been up there, you know, a top 2, top 3 car. It don't count out. The driver in this 31 or Joseph Smith. Now things did get a little bit interesting here as that caution comes out. Lights should go off on the pace car this time by, I believe, which means we'll be going to green with 10 laps to go in stage 1, which is going to probably put on some aggressive racing. Some of these guys need the stage points to put themselves in a good spot for the point standings wise. Just like that, we should see the lights on the pace car this time by. Trying to look at your... Trying to see if I can find the points for you guys. Here it is right here. Try to pull this up for you guys. So, obviously with Jacob Quill being out of the league, that will give the points lead to Jordan Fisher and Oliver Quinney. Only 11 points behind there in that 41 machine. Oliver Quinney P2. Gio Turpin decided not to show up tonight, so that's going to hurt him in the points, but he was P3. Joseph Enright in that 7 machine all the way back in 5th. Going to be P3. P4 in points should easily take P3 away from Gio Turpin, as Gio's will miss tonight's race here at Motegi. I'd like to say hello to everybody in chat. Ryan Smith up here in the Twitch chat. Cameron Frost, Pam Hardy, Zach Case. Hope everybody's having a good night. Patrick. And Patrick as well. Hope everybody's having a great rest of the night as we get ready to go. 10 laps to go here to enter stage 1. The pace car take the hard left, and the 39 and the 31 will lead us back to green. 10 laps to go in stage 1. Who's going to take this stage? Pretty good jump out of the 31. But Dorian Davis with not the best start. And Oliver Quinney trying to push that 31 out. But here comes Kendorian on the bottom. Trying to race for this P2 position. 39 with the run off the top once again. And the 31's going to have to do what he did the last time. Try to hang it up on the top. Try to make this pass with, but looks like the 88 will clear. Here comes Oliver Quinney. Gonna make a move here for this P3 spot. Decides to drop back behind the 31. In that bottom, might get side by side with this machine. No, I don't think he will. 31 will clear. With the momentum off the top now, a little bit of a battle behind here. Joseph Enright under attack. From the 98, that is Blair Saunders. Blair trying to make his way up through the field. Is Justin Hardy gonna try to get side by side with the 7 now? So the 7 hemorrhaging spots here in the closing laps here in stage 1. 66 is barely there. You're gonna have to give room there for Zach Case. Zach Case kind of running him up the track. A little bit of contact going into 1 and 2. 7 with the run, with the momentum off the top, will re-clear though. Everybody starts to get single file again. And that 39 is ran away with the lead here. Coming now 7 to go in the stage. Kendorian back there in P2. Joseph Smith back there in the 31. Holding on to P3. Oliver Quinney trying to run down this 31 machine. stats for Quinny. Hasn't left the top 10 yet this race. You see him with a little bit of a different line in the 31. You see him downshifting here in the 3 and 4. I told you this is 1 and 2. Get up in the 5th. Versus that 31, you see he's up there all the way against the wall up there in 1 and 2. Down here in 3 and 4, it's a little bit of a wider corner here, so you're going to see everybody go down there and trying to run that bottom lane. I think it is the fastest way around the track here. Once again, going down here in the 1 and 2. See, that was just something different. See, once again, you hear that downshift out of the 41. You're going to try to paint that white line. This is that 31 who is running the top, getting the momentum to stay ahead. And already, everybody kind of single filed out, kind of running their own race near the end stage 2. Closest battle on track out here is this 55. Getting some pressure from the 09 of Nicholas Siemens. Looked like maybe the 55 had just gotten around the 09, maybe. I'm not sure. 55 starting to pull away from this 09 machine. Gabriel up 2 spots. Remember, he's already been involved in 2 cautions, and honestly, looking pretty. That car looks pretty good considering what it's been through tonight. Hopefully this 55 hasn't taken a set of tires yet. That's why he's driven up through the field. If I'm this 55, especially with this damage that he's had, I'd hold on to those Goodyear tires. Where you only get 5 sets for this race. So I would have saved the set and definitely take a set here on lap 40 when we get the stage caution. Got this 55 up inside the top 10 after getting spun out twice. Once by himself and once by some contact from the 49. Like Jaron Valley? Oh, Jaron Valley with the mistake. And that might very well be your stage caution right there. Take a look and see what happened to this 01 machine. You saw him getting caught by the 09 machine. And just loses it on his own here. A little bit of loose out of turn 4. Thought he had it saved and then just go on board with them. I think he just thought he could have maybe just got back into the gas, and unfortunately when he gets back into the gas, it just brings the car up the track. I don't think anything out of malice there, just a little bit of a misjudgment of the car there. So that will bring out the caution here. And I'm unsure if that's going to be your stage or not. Everybody coming down pit side. Most of the field decides to come down pit road. Looks like we do have one who decides to stay out. That is maybe the 93, Justin Wilkes. Yeah, you see him coming back around. Very interesting call. So I expect four Goodyear tires for everybody here. I don't expect to see any 2 tire strategies or anything else, except we do see Wyatt Thompson, as I say that, 6-second stop. Everybody funnel out of pit road here. Wyatt Thompson with a little bit of a different strategy call. 6-second stop, so I'm gonna say that's fuel only. I don't think that's enough to take two. I would usually say a two tire stop is usually around 9 seconds. Wyatt Youngblood also with the strategy call to gain some track position. And we know the 39 took 4. You know the 88 of Kendorian Davis took 4. And I wonder, remember, the stage winner is awarded to the driver who is in front at lap 41. So I wonder if that 93 stayed out just to win the stage there. It was at the completion of lap 40, so technically that 39 was ahead. Wasn't first at the completion of lap 40 going into 41. So I wonder if that's what that 93 was thinking. He wanted that stage win, that precious playoff point. You saw that 39 come down pit road. That 93, my apologies, of Justin Wilkes. So he's going to give up the track position for that stage win potentially. And Wyatt Thompson, my apologies, followed by Youngblood in that one machine. A little bit of a strategy call, a little bit of a gamble here. Give themselves some track position here, maybe to get some playoff points. So Thompson will be a leader, followed by the 39 of Fisher, Youngblood, and Davis gonna be your fast forward to start stage 2. And Youngblood with a great jump, with Thompson with a great jump. I'm gonna get those two mixed up every race here. Two really fast, really two aggressive racers. Ooh, Youngblood almost contacted the 39. There he's gonna try to jump back there into the P3 position. Now, does Thompson have anything for this 39? Oh, whoa, someone really missed the corner back there. Cautional wave. Joseph Smith involved. We'll have to take back and see what happened here. So two separate incidents here. So we'll go back and take a look at this 98. The 98, I don't know, maybe something happened. He just shot it off down here. That was never going to work. And then knock the wall down. And then separately, the 31 gets tagged by the 41 of Quinney. And around goes the 31 machine. That will be the caution, not the 98. Because the 09 also goes around. Well, there are more than one incidents here. So about 3 separate incidents. So it looks like the 09 also just loses it on his own. Lucky that no one got into the back of the 31 of the 09, but caution will wave once again a 5th time here at Motegi. But with that all said and done, we didn't really get a run a commercial break for you guys for that stage, so we'll be right back after some words from our sponsors here at iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
My apologies once again, chat. Microphone is muted. I need to get better at doing that. Thank you, Chessie, in the chat for the heads up. But we saw right there the one machine go around, and I was just kind of explaining, you know, he's had some connection issues throughout the whole race, and you know, when you have connection issues, and it's really hard for iRacing to dictate where your car is going to be. And you know, if that was going to happen to anybody, probably going to happen to Wyatt. It sucks because he's got a fast car. You know, ran up inside the top 3 for a little bit, but when you have connection issues, that's going to happen. So once again, we'll see Fisher and Thompson up here on the front row, but this time Fisher picks the top, and he will dictate when we go green here. So Fisher will lead us back to green here at Motegi. Really good jump out of the 39. Good jump out of the 98 of Blair Saunders. And they'll go side by side in 1 and 2. Side by side for the P2 position. They might have had a spinner in the back. Like White? No? Someone in the back, it looks like, had an issue. Looks like maybe Dalton Bernius in the 69 machine. Unfortunate for him, but we'll go back here for the battle for the P2 position. Looks like Thompson's going to get clear of the 98. They're still battling out back here for third on back. 7 and the 66 are going to go side by side. Still side by side all throughout the racetrack here. Like Dorian Davis going after the 98. Might clear this 98 machine, and now he's going to go looking after the 77 to Thompson. Thompson into the outside wall a little bit. I don't see any issue with 88 here. Obviously, Thompson kind of limping around on some older tires. Okay, Dorian Davis will move back into the P2 position. Now, Wyatt Thompson back to third as he's going to try to hold on to as much track position as he can here. There's Augustin. Looks like the 01. Trying to move up through the field once again. Sharon Valley looking pretty quick here tonight at Motegi. They get side by side with the 7. Out of turn 3 and 4. 7 with a good run off. Back here, goalie. Side by side with the 31. The 31 we know has been able to use the top really well here throughout the whole race. He'll get clear. The Joseph Smith back up inside the top 10 after getting contact from the 41 of Oliver Quinney. Put that 31 up inside the top 10 once again. 31 just continuing to drive through the field here. Let's run on board with them for a lap. Saw him get around the 45 though. He's here feathering the throttle. Trying to get everything he can out of it. We'll see him go side by side with the 01, get around the 01 as well. So Joseph Smith down but not out of it yet. Got a long ways to go to get to your leader, Jordan Fisher, who's already put a 2-second gap on the rest of the field here. And Norton Davis back in P2. In P3, we have a battle for this position here as Blair Sonley's trying to get around the 77. That's allowed the 66 is that case. You can try to get side by side with the 98 machine. And if I'm these two behind, I'm going to let one of these two go. But you know Wyatt Thompson's on older tires, trying to hold on here. If you guys sit back there side by side, it's just going to allow Thompson to just continue to try to hold on here. I think that's exactly what you had happen is, oh, the 98 gets a bumper put to him by the 51 of Tenold. Saunders holds on to it though. And Tenold has moved his way up through the field here, up 6 spots. Looks pretty quick here. Been pretty under the radar all race tonight in that monster machine. It's Tenold. Like he's gonna get around the 98, and the 98 just let him go. But hey, I get it. You're a little bit quicker. You can have it, man. So put Tenold up into the top 5. And now here comes the 31. I just feel like the 31 going to drive it so much deeper into the corner than really anybody else here tonight. Daniel's trying to do anything he can to get around the 7 machine. Tried the bottom one corner, tried the top this time. You get on the inside and not make it stick though. Joseph Enright doing the best he can to hold this 31 back. And Tenold getting to the rear end of the 51. So a big battle outside here with this top 5 position. And here's good. There goes the 7 machine. Caution will wave. We're just looking at him. Hopefully no commentator's curse there. He was holding off the 31, but huge hit for the 70. For the 7 machine here. Take a look and see what happened. And go up there and try to run the top there. He's loose, 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 loose. And man, KO that left front tire. Some huge damage to that 7 machine. See if you can come around and see what this left front looks like. And honestly, could be worse. But definitely going to affect the way that car is going to drive. Well, now we're definitely in the fuel window to where you can make it on one stop here, which means we should see everybody come down pit lane here. Get some 4 fresh Goodyear tires. We ran, what, 627 laps on these tires, so around that time. And Wyatt Thompson holds on to that P4 spot right there. So good for him. Making a little bit of a different strategy call to get some track position and able to hold on to it. You know, these next gens are really hard to make those type of calls sometimes because of how bad the tire fall off, especially with this new next gen update has been. The tire fall off can be really bad if you don't know how to manage the car. Like Wyatt Thompson will lead your race. Wyatt Youngblood will lead the race off pit road. Kendorian Davis P2. Wyatt Thompson P3. Zach Case P4. And Jordan Fisher back there in P5. And once again, another different strategy call out of this one machine to come and take the lead. I'll spice up the way this restart will look. You had your race leader go in there and first come out P5. So not the best stop for Fisher. Funny because he had the shortest pit stop. Maybe he had a mistake in pit getting into the box or something. Because one of the slowest stops, but one of the slowest pit road times, one of the fastest stops here for that 39 machine. And once again, you saw that 77 hold off on a different strategy. Can the 01, can the one machine do it? Of Wyatt Youngblood. We know he's quick. We know he's got decent pace underneath him. Just like that. You see the lights off on the pace car? And now the 1 in the 88. Chevy front row. Chevy Toyota. Running out that second row. But Wyatt Youngblood will lead us to green here to lead his first laps tonight. Youngblood already taking advantage of picking the top. Looks like Kendorian had a little bit of an issue on the bottom and allowed the one to get the run off the top and clear for the race lead. Fisher already pounding the 77 of Wyatt Thompson for that race, for that P3 position. And now side by side, give Kendorian Davis the lead. As they go 3 wide into turn 1, as Youngblood blinking once again. Here comes Fisher down there to drive it down into there. Zach Case almost gets it into the end of the left rear. The 77 backs off. And here comes Andrew Tennell now to battle that 66. Lots of good racing. 3 wide back here for the battle for 7th here. It's the 31. Gonna try to drive his way through the field. Gonna follow Oliver Quinney through. That 31 get through the field once again up the P7. Everybody calm right now. Not a 51 slow. Tennell with a mistake out of turn 2. Stop him a couple places down. The 31's going to get around this 51 machine. 55 with 51 looking like he was going to do a crossover. Did not have the run to do it though. 55 of Eskridge looking to the outside of the 51. Not going to make anything happen here out of 2. Gonna look lower here on the 51 machine. The 51 and the 45 are going to go side by side here for this P7 position. Got the 55, a goalie right behind the 45. Going to get him a little air loose, it looks like. He's going to take advantage. Going to go side by side with the 45 now. 45 going to drive it into the corner. Wow, really good racing out here outside the top 5, but once again, the man of the hour, Jordan Fisher, is retaking the lead away from Dorian Davis. Dorian back to P2. Wyatt Thompson sitting back there in P3. Zach Gase back there in the P4 position. And a battle for P5 is now the 31 of Smith looking underneath Oliver Quinney. And these are 2 pretty evenly matched drivers, I feel like here. Quinney's always been really quick. Also, this other one looked like he might have race-winning speed. Anyone going to drop back in line? I thought he was going to try the top. I feel like he's one of the only drivers who's made this top work here out of 1 and 2. Side by side out of 2. Jordan down the backstretch. Really trying to slow down the momentum of the 31. And now Quinney's going to have the preferred line in the 3 and 4. A little bit of a run out of 31. And they're going to stay side by side. Give it to Quinney at the line. 66 with an issue is going to allow 39 and 1 to take advantage. Going to clear Quinney. Trying to make a move on the 66 machine. '66 is that case. Someone who surprised me a lot today. That case's numbers right here. He's been outside of the top 15. He's driven his way up inside the top 5. Here comes the 31, going to try to make a move. Zach doing a good job feeding that 38 to the 31, trying to keep him back. Zach looks like he's slowing up a lot of these guys, though. So I'm not going to be surprised if you see some of these guys be a little bit impatient. Is that Zach? He's going to go around. No! Caution will not wave, as it will now. Commentator's curse once again strikes, and I apologize for that 66. We got the 7 earlier, and I think we just got the 66 here. We'll take a look back and see what happened in this thought here live on the broadcast, but take a look and see what happened. That's been turned through and 4. That's been biting everybody here, driving it a little bit too hard, and it's allowed, and it's made a lot of people get pretty loose. You saw him right there, that little wiggle right here. Right here. Saw that wiggle. Tried to catch it. Couldn't do it in time. They're gonna knock down the wall there. That'll be a lot of damage for that 66 machine. Just like that, we're starting to slowly count down these laps here. We're underneath 50 to go here from Motegi. We'll have to take a look back and see. We can actually get this on our ticker to see when was the last time everybody pitted here. Like 13 laps for everybody. So it was that last caution. Everybody came down and decided to take tires. Fuel. Means they should be good to make it on one more stop here. Should be going one green this time. As we are, you see the lights on the pace car turn off. Again, it's going to be the 88 and the 39. They've been kind of the front two all race. Fortunately, Jordan Fisher has been by far the favorite there for tonight. The 31 does have this beef. We'll be starting behind your race leader. And I feel like he does have some decent pace here. This will be his point of view for this restart in this 31 machine. Like I said, laps are ticking down here at Motegi. Now underneath 50 laps to go here. Can be interesting. See if anybody has anything for this 39. Once again, the pace car will take that hard left turn down pit road. We'll be green once again here from Motegi. Really great jump by the 39. Here comes the 31 on the outside. They try to pass the 88 the hard way once again. Go side by side for that P2 position. About to say they need to get this sorted out. They want to get this 39 in. You run for the money here. I think it was the smartest thing for Kindorian is. Oh, it sounds like we got a wreck in the back as we do. Oh wow, huge hit for the 09. Like, oh wow, huge damage for the 86 as well. Happens to this 86 machine. So going to looking like 3 wide going into turn 1. At 89 just gets ran over. 86 gets ran over. Oh man, up on his roof. What a hit for the 86. And I think the 09 maybe lose it, trying to slow down for this wreck. Yeah. I mean, just trying to be precautious. Saw the 86 up on his roof, made me panicked a little bit. Saw him try to lock it down there, and unfortunately, that car just came out from underneath him. It's easy to do here in the next gen with this new tire model. But huge damage for this 86 machine. We'll go back and take a look at that one more time. What a hit for this 86 machine. Ah, man. Driver's side. Lifts up in the air, gets on the roof a little bit. Luckily lands back on all fours. No contact from anybody else though, but you see the hood off the car. The huge hit. That's probably race ending damage for that 86 of Dustin Harding, and that is, he is left. He's already put that car in the hauler and called it a night. That's unfortunate for your 86 machine. Hard hit. Hopefully everything's okay with that driver. And the 39 decides to come down pit road. Remember, we are in that fuel, and that with that caution coming out, we are in that fuel range to make it to the end there. So you saw some of you drivers come down pit road, including the 39, the 31. Blaze Saunders back there in the 98. I'm not sure if he's gonna get the cause for that caution, but he might get an EOL here. Andrew Tenold down pit road, Alex Eskridge down pit road, but quite a few drivers decided to stay out here. Obviously, the 88 of Kitorian Davis stayed out. Wyatt Thompson, Wyatt Youngblood, Benjamin Bushnell in the 25. Justin Wilkes, remember, stage 1 winner. Joseph Enright, Oliver Quinney, and Gabriel Goli. Going to be the last car in line here who stayed out. It seems like everybody else on back. Maybe Tenold didn't take tires here, but everybody who came down pit road did take a set of good, fresh Goodyear tires. So now, if I'm these guys up front here, either they think they can save enough to make it to the end with the cautions. I think is doubtful. They've ran 19 laps on these tires, so I'm very doubtful that that is the case here. So they'd have to save almost 20 laps of fuel to make it here. So I feel like these top 5 probably are not in a good spot. Joseph Enright's also pretty close. He has 6 laps on that tank of fuel. He's gonna have to stretch a little bit. But actually, Gabriel Ngoli and Oliver Quinney came down, took fuel only, so they're also good to go. So they also jumped the 39 and the 31 here. It's gonna be interesting to see how the strategies come about. But now it's gonna be the 77 and the 88. Dual numbers at the front here, leading us back to green here. 44 to go here at Twin Ring Motegi. They're jumped by the 88, but side by side back here for P2. 77's going to clear the 25, it looks like. They're going to look 3 wide. 25's going to get cut a break there. 7's going to get back in line. Joseph Enright up there. Caution waves. Like the 01 around. Take a look and see what happened to this 01 machine. Like this was happening a little bit before here. We got on board with this 01 machine. And once again, going into turn 3 and 4. Ooh, the 98 gets into the side of the 51. And unfortunately, the 01 just trying to stay off the 51. Like maybe got tagged by the 45, but just looped it, trying to slow it down there. Now 51 better be thinking that 01, because he could have driven right through him, but tried to stay off of him. Unfortunately, wrecked himself, got Gave himself and the 45 damage trying to keep it off the 51. So, caution away once again. Your leader's electing to still stay out here. Not come down pit road yet. That puts you top 4 as cars who still need to make it one more stop to make it to the end. And Joseph Enright back there in the 7 machine. I could say probably with these caution laps, could probably easily make it now. And Gabriel Goli back there took fuel only, a 6-second stop, leading the drivers with good on fuel. Who pitted that last caution. So all these guys have 4 laps of fuel, and it's just gonna allow them to save more for potentially green white checkers and stuff. For the 55, you know, obviously we only ran 4 laps there, but good for this 55 to keep car up here. Look at this outline. Look, up to P6, low of 20th. Obviously started outside the top 10 there in 11th. The strategy call might jump him a couple spots here at the end here. If he could keep this car clean, keep it up here. Once again, these top 4 have yet to come down pit road, so these fast 4 will be the 4 to lead you to green. So that's the 77 of Thompson. That's the 88 of Ketorian Davis. That Slurpee machine. White Youngblood. And Benjamin Bushdell up here inside the fast 4 in that 25 machine. Just like that. To the 88 and the 77. Going back into the restart zone. And we'll be green here. Once again, 40 to go. Now 39 to go. At Motegi. Big jump out of the 88. 77's going to get out to that P2 position. And side by side for P3 is White Youngblood. Tries to take that 3rd place spot away from the 25. Them battling side by side. It's allowed the 39 and the 7 get to the rear ends of these machines. Will the 39 try to take it 3 wide? Looks not to in the turn 1 and 2. Actually, it's the 55. Goli. What a save. Oh, so we have some more wrecking, it looks like. 41 of Oliver Quinney around here. Caution wave once again. We'll first look at this Goli machine. We're at some contact. Going into 1 and 2. So it looks like 2 cars meeting in the middle there. Goli with a great save. So Goli and Quinney getting together, and then Quinney down the road here. Looks like it's a weird bump there. You actually see the car unload in an awkward spot here. He's going to lose that 41 out of 2. Lock it down here. And I'm surprised that's a caution. I mean, that's underneath that white line. That's kind of off the racing surface. But obviously this is iRacing cautions, I believe. And they called it, so not much more to say about that. Now we start to see your leader, at least the 88. Those 3 of your top 4 decide to call it. Come down pit road here. They knew they couldn't make it. But you'll see that 3 of the out of those 4 come down. You also see the 66 of the 41 back there in the background come down. Obviously, you see some damage of the 66, and obviously we just saw the 44 with some contact, and probably going to come down and take some tires. Those guys will merge back out. They'll be all the way back outside the top 10. I'll put Kadorian back there 12th, Youngblood 13th, and Bushnell back there in 14th. Oliver Quinney come back out here in 15th. So now Wyatt Thompson out here on 27 lap old tires. Gonna have to hold off. Probably the guy to beat here in this 39. And it's gonna be interesting because obviously Thompson cannot make it to the finish. I don't think. I mean, he's already ran 28 laps here now. I would say 20, maybe 20 of them have been under caution. So he could have probably saved maybe 5 laps of fuel here. So he could only go another 25 laps. Like, he can maybe stretch it to 10 to go, I think, at most. Yeah, Peter Jacob was really quick, but no, sometimes you need to be, you know, the league obviously didn't like the way he handled himself last week in the interview, and unfortunate to see that 29 out here because I think he would have definitely given a big shot to this 39 machine for the win. Obviously, we missed Zachary Trevino as well. Hasn't shown up to these last couple races in that 8 machine, but unfortunate to see what happened with that 29 machine. That is behind us now as we get ready to look into the future of this race. At the 77, your race leader will lead us back to green, trying to get a good jump on that 39 machine of Julian Fisher. Jump out of the 77, Joseph Enright. Really aggressive on this start there, putting a little bit of a bumper to the 39, now side by side for that P3 position with the 31 of Smith. Smith and Enright still side by side. Smith will drop back down. Get that spot to the 31. Now it's the 31 and the 39. 2 and 3. Here comes Jordan Fisher on the top. Look at the speed difference between these two machines. Thompson going to try to do everything he can, but I don't know if there's a whole lot he can do. Does get the preferred line here in 34. Gonna slide up in front of the 39. As these two battle, that's gonna allow the 31 to start to reel these two in. Thompson holding on for dear life. trying to break the draft, trying to do everything he can. Him doing a good job, honestly. I'm surprised that he's been able to keep someone like the 39 behind him for this long. I knew Thompson was quick, but I didn't think anybody could match what this Fisher machine can do. As we think we have a car in the back around. I'm trying to find who that driver was. Might have been the 25 here. A lot of damage to this machine, so. Like it was. $25. Going into 1 and 2 here. Oh man, yep. See what happened here to everybody is with this new update. The one came up and just got to the left rear quarter of the 25, and obviously aero griefing is something you hear a lot in this next gen, but that's exactly what happened. As soon as he kind of crossed the wake of the 25, it got the car out from underneath him, and really nothing that Bushdale could do. I've seen it a lot here with the next gen update. If you get to the right, if you just get to that left rear quarter, it can really take a lot of downforce out of the car, and obviously really change the way that the car handles. And you saw that 25 make a huge impact of that inside wall. The 77 of White Thompson finally takes his machine down pit side. But with 30 to go, he'll have about 15 lap fresher tires in the field. It's gonna be interesting to see if the 77 can drive up through the field once again. And it was really impressive to see him be able to hold off the 39 and the 31 with those older tires. So now he's got fresher tires than those two that he was trying to stay ahead of, and he'd get back to them, try to race them for this win here at Motegi. Now with under 30 to go, we start to get some of the Goliaths start to come back up to the field. The 31 and the 39, some of the strongest cars we've seen all race. Back here 1 and 2. And Dorian Davis has cycled his way back up inside the top 4. We'll see him second on that top lane. He looked pretty quick. Been a top 3 car, I feel like, in my book. Joseph Enright back inside the top 3 once again. He's looked very strong as well. And look at that. Alex Geskridge up here in the top 5. Has not had the season he wanted. Gotten caught up into a lot of things out of his doing. See a little bit of a dimple on the front of that nose, but a good race for him here at Twin Ring. Hopefully he can finish this race out. But just like that, that pace car will take a hard left down on the pit road. Now it's going to be the two big hitters, the 39 and the 31. leading us back to green. 28 now, 27 to go. You got Twin Wing Motegi. And right with a good jump behind the 39. Going to get side by side with the 31. 39 will have a good run out of the corner, but not enough. 7's going to clear here for P2. That's not what Joseph wanted there. I think Joseph has probably the only car that can get up there and race with this 39, and after the race for this P2 position is not what this 31 needs. Go side by side for this P2 position is allowed Dorian Davis to make a move here. He's right here in the picture to race for this P2 position. Now 26 coming to 25 to go here at Motegi. Joseph gets clear. Can he run down the race leader? They battle back here for the P2 6 position to 2. Wyatts. Now we see some contact. Andrew Tennell and Thompson. And get some contact going down here, down the backstretch, going into 3 and 4. Two aggressive drivers, two aggressive moves there. Saw some contact between those two, and Thompson will take the position over that 51 machine. Seven clearing in on the 1 machine. I like the way the 77 is approaching these corners. Backing up the entry, getting good rotation through center, and just kind of beating them on exit. Obviously, when you overdrive the corner like that, it can allow you to have a decent exit. And when you overdrive the center like that, it just kills. When you overdrive the entry, it just kills that center speed. You saw that's why that allowed that 77 get back around that 1 machine. To put Thompson up to the P6 spot. He's going to need some help if he wants to get back to those race leaders. Just having to fight through this lap traffic, I would say lap traffic, but through these cars with older tires, you really slow down his pace. Luckily, everybody up here is single file, so it gives him time to got to set up runs, set up passes here. Got to get to the lead as quickly as he can with those, what I would say, 16 lap pressure tires. Right now, everybody's single file, trying to find their pace, but we will have a battle ensuing between the 77 and the 41. 77 starting to run down this car in front. Mr. Smith has not really let this 39 machine get away. Matching lap times for the most part with the 39. Was about a 10th slower that lap. Besides that, was at least matching lap times with the race leader, Jordan Fisher. Last lap, Fisher in a 36 flat. Joseph Smith with a 36.1. We'll see what lap time they run this time. That was a 36 flat to a 35.9. As caution is out. I have seen this 51 go around. The 51 of Andrew Tenold. He scored around the 93. Game a little loose in 3 and 4. And he is going to keep it off the inside wall, but he's going to loop it around there. That will be a caution every day of the week. So, caution out for the 51. Getting a little upset there out of 3 and 4. We will bring out the pace car one more time. Now, with 18 to go, if you're the 31 car, or if your car's behind, okay, no one decides to come down pit side. If I'm like back there in 8th, if I'm like the 55 a goalie, unless they don't have any more sets of tires left, I wish it would show us on our ticker how many sets of tires they've used. We do have a thing that shows how many pit stops that they've taken, so you can look here, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, all the way down there. You see 8 for the 49 machine, but I wish it would show how many tire sets they've taken. Unfortunately, we do not have that information. At least we know that Fisher, Smith, Davis, Enright, potentially Quinney and Thompson. We know maybe Wilkes back there in the 93 have a set, because they haven't even gone down pit road enough to take all 4 sets. So if these guys want to come down and take a set there, I'm surprised to see, like, you race leaders, you have a set laying in the pits with 17 to go. I don't really, unless they really do think that they're going to wreck again with under 10 to go, where they can come down, maybe take 2, take 4 tires, you try to run it out through the rest of the way. I really don't see why you wouldn't come down and pit, but we'll have to see. I mean, maybe they'll prove me wrong and they will wreck coming under 10 to go here, well, which will force everybody to come down pit road and try to hold on here. Get lights off on the pace car. We're going to be going to green with 15 to go here. And if you guys don't mind, if you guys are watching the broadcast, guys wouldn't mind dropping a like on the broadcast, maybe subscribing to High Velocity TV. We're live here at least 2 times a week here, broadcasting the AWC Pro Series alongside the Prestige Cup Series. We also have been in talks of picking up some other series. If you guys are looking or interested in having us broadcast any league, special event, or anything, make sure that email us at hvtvbroadcasting@aol.com, or maybe just shoot me a DM over on Discord. If you have that, make sure to join the HVTV Discord. I don't believe we have it posted in the description down below, but if you ask in chat, I guarantee you someone can get you for that for you. But here we go, 15 lap dash here. There's the 31 and the 39 leads us back to green. Great jump by the 31. Try to hang it tough on the outside. Not going to be able to get side by side with the 39 here, but we'll have a great run down the backstretch here to try to make something happen. And with 15 to go, tire savings out the window. Oh, you see Oliver Quinney knocked the wall down there in the 5th place. 6th place, my apologies. It's whatever you got left in the tank. You got another set of tires down in the pits that you need to use if you feel like you cannot fight anymore if we get a caution. But it's whatever you got now. 15 now, 14 to go. It's going to be really who saved their tires the best throughout these runs here. To go down and try to race down your race leader in the 39 of George Fisher. Nobody once again single foul, but we do have a battle back here for the 5th place. Justin Wilkes in the 89 side by side. Blair Saunders will take that spot. Here comes Andrew Tenold moving through the field. Andrew might have come down and taken those fresh Goodyear tires. Obviously, he was a caution on those. I wouldn't imagine he'd try to stick it out on those tires anymore. Look for this 51 to drive through the field here in the closing laps. Now everybody kind of single file out in front. Let's go through run through the field here with 12 to go. You see the leader of Jordan Fisher. And him leading 72 of 119. Once again, dominant performance for that driver. We'll take a look here at the rest of your field here. Joseph Smith been very consistent. Led a couple laps here. Up in the P2 spot. Really good. Same thing with Kindorian. Has been a top 3 car all race. Sitting back there in P3. P4, Joseph Enright. Really good run for this 7 machine. Back there in the P4 position. Wyatt Youngblood has come back to run inside the top 5 and good run for that number 1 machine. We have a battle for the P6 position as Thompson with the fresher tires trying to get around the 41 and he'll make that pass work. I'll put Thompson up the P6 and now Oliver Quinney up in the P7. Quinney's shown top 10 speed all race and looking like you're going to have a good top 10 finish here if he can keep this car going straight. Adrian Goalie, up and down day for him. Been caught up in several incidents. Sitting right there in the P8 position. Good run for this 55 machine. And the other charger throughout the field here for these last couple laps with those fresh tires is Andrew Tenold in this 51. Him down pit road. 7 laps to go, has by far the freshest tires in the field for him to maybe try to run through the field some more. Alex Eskridge back there at P10. Good run for him. Just needs to keep this car clean. He's going to have himself his first top 10 of the season. Gordon Fisher, 7/10 of a second lead over the 31 of Joseph Smith. 8 to go. Let's have anything for the 31 machine. That's kind of in a little island right now. He's got a 7/10 of a second gap in front and almost a 7/10 of a gap behind. So this has been super consistent on this long run. But Fisher, I mean, I feel like he is the long run, right? He is someone who's always been really good at serving the tires, keeping that car underneath him. And Fisher continued a legacy run here. You know, basically handing it over, basically being handed the favorite for the championship after Jacob Quill was removed from the league, removed from the server. Really giving the reins over to this 39 machine to take it over as a caution is out. Once again, the 51 around here out of turn 4. Forget what I said about all that. We'll take back and see what happened in this 51 machine. The 50 is going to drive it in there. Cannot keep the traction underneath him. And oh man, overcorrect up into the outside wall. It looks like you also got the 55 there. Just a little bit. And I'll throw the caution here with 6 laps to go. Wow. That should bring everybody down pit side. On some of these drivers, I am coming down pit road. I am taking those tires. The 5 to go. These leaders up here looks like they made their bed. They're gonna have to lay in it. The Fisher, Smith, Davis, Enright. Eskridge back there with the freshest tires. Oliver Quinney back there, also with 31 laps on these. But if I'm, you know, maybe like a goalie, come down. Here he is, down pit road. But Wyatt Thompson also comes down to take some tires here with 5 to go. The issue is, he's going to be starting 11th with, give or take, a green and white checker territory. Obviously, there's 40 laps on the leader's tires, right? I think my best place for the B right here is this 45 of Eskridge. Only has 12 lap old tires. I would say under that, I would say like 9 lap old tires with the caution laps and stuff. I think this is my favorite for someone to potentially make a surprise, get up there and try to race for this win. Thompson obviously has fresh sticker tires, but back there in 11th, I don't know if he's going to be able to go up there and get around all these guys at a time. That's exactly what Fisher didn't want to see right there, was a caution. It stacks everybody else back up. It gives everybody a chance. Like, we're getting in the territory where maybe the bumper might get used to this 39, right? If they want a chance to get around him, they're going to have to get physical. Because he is just flat out faster right now than the 31 and the 88. So I don't know how willing the 31 and 88 are willing to do that, but if they want a chance, they're going to have to do something different here. But just like that, we'll be coming to green here with a 3-lap dash. It's Jordan Fisher leads us back to green here. It's the 31. What a save, but that's going to ruin his result right there. Sitting up there P2 all race. The 7's going to go around. Calamity here. And there goes the 45 as well. Eskridge was my sleeper pick to go up there and run up there. Fortunately got caught up in that. We'll take a look back and see what happened. A couple of incidences. It all started here on the restart. Well, I talked about getting physical. The 31 and the 88 get together, and it slows up them, and then we'll go back here at the 7 machine. The 7 gets the bumper from the 41. The 88 also gets loose around the 45, and the 7 to go nowhere for the 45 to go. And just a lot of people overdriving the corners here, trying to be aggressive at the end here, and that will be a caution. And that took out big competitors there. Obviously, the 31 is out of contention now, I would probably say. If I'm the 31, I mean, you might as well. You're back there in 7th. I don't know. This is why I get paid the broadcast, why I don't get paid to call to be a crew chief or to be racing here. Because obviously I think the 31's chances at winning are over. But I don't think there's enough laps to think it's worthy to come down and take freshies. Thompson with those fresh tires sneaks his way up in the P8 after some calamity there on the first lap of that restart. Well, I don't think that's what the 39 wanted to see. I guarantee you he's happy that the 31 is probably out of contention. I think the 31 was the only one who could have really gave it to him here. Obviously, we still have the young Glenn Davis, who have been quick all race, but no one's been able to time the restarts like the 31 has, comparatively to Jordan Fisher. But it's like Fisher will pick the bottom once again. We'll give Wyatt Youngblood the top here. Just like that, we'll be going into NASCAR overtime. So we'll have one green white. I think we get 3 green white checkered attempts. So the way, for people that don't know at home, we'll go green here, and if we get a caution before the leader takes the white flag, we will re-rack him and start over again. They get 3 opportunities to do that. And if we get to the white flag, if he crosses the line before we get the caution, it's all men fending for themselves. So once we get to the white flag, we race back to the checkered flag regardless. If we use up all 3 green white checkers, if we get to that 3rd one and we wreck before we get to the white flag, whoever is leading the race once the caution comes out will be declared your winner. Hopefully we just need to use one of these green white checkers and have a great finish here for you guys at home. Just like that, you'll see the pace car for hopefully the last time go down pit road, and we'll be doing some NASCAR overtime here at Motegi. Go jump by the 39. Kendorian Davis gonna drive it into the corner. Gonna clear the 1. And this isn't over. This is not over. The 39 blocking all over the place. Oh, they're wrecking once again. Caution will wave. That's the big one there in the back. And you're tunneled once again around here, and we'll take a look and see what happened. I think this was above ahead of there. It looks like the 77 at Thompson. And then again in the back of the 31 machine. Thompson had a huge run. Made a huge aggressive move down there. And I just don't think that the 31 expected the 77 to make that move like that. And the 77 will tag the 31, tag the 41. Looks like the 55 just trying to squeeze through the wreck, tags the 51 of 10 old, and nowhere to go for some of these drivers here. It looks like the 84 tries to drive through the wreck, will tag the 51 once again. Nowhere to go for some of these drivers. I gotta feel bad for the 31. Had a chance to potentially race for the win here. Now that's the second wreck in a row that he's been involved in. Not of his doing. So I gotta feel bad for Joseph there in the 31 machine. That was one green light checkered we used up here. So we get 2 more attempts here at NASCAR overtime. Honestly, Dorian Davis impressed me here on that restart. This is the first time I ever saw anybody get to the back bumper of the 39 on a restart. So we'll be starting on the outside this time, or on the opposite row of whatever that 39 decides to pick here. Yeah, it's been choosing the bottom lately, but that doesn't mean he can't choose the top to try to shake it up here at the end. But we will re-rack them once again. And just like I said, he could have changed it up. He does. He's going to give the 88 the bottom. He's going to choose the top lane. Once again, we are in NASCAR overtime, so we just need to get to that white flag to make this race official. Obviously, everybody's going to be aggressive to try to make up spots here, try to give themselves the best opportunity to get the best finish they can. So, and this is what NASCAR overtime does. It forces these drivers to drive as hard as they can, to drive as aggressive as they can, to try to give themselves an opportunity to get the best finish possible here at Motegi. We might see some more action here as we get ready to go green here. One more time. See the pace car take the hard left down Pear Road, and now the 88 on the bottom and then 39 up top as we're going to go for our second green white checker. Great jump out of the 49. It actually might allow Blair Saunders to battle for the P2 position. The 88 is going to drive it into the corner. Side by side for P2. A little bit of contact as the 98's going to try to... He's going to save it. The 98 saves it. What a save. That's going to ruin his finish here. Look at 3-4 wide back here in the back trying to get around this slow car. As the 41 Oliver Quinney into the outside wall. Here comes the 98. He's going to go around. The race is official here. White flag in the air for Jordan Fisher. No pressure from out back, and honestly, deservedly so. Jordan Fisher, the dominant car all race. Coming out of 3 and 4, Jordan Fisher leading 97 laps is, oh, the 88 will win it here in the 88 at Dorian Davis. Huge wreck down the front stretch. You gotta take a look at this. Yeah, the P2 in the back here, self-spun. What a terrible ending for that 88 machine. So just like that, Wyatt Youngblood will be your P2 finisher, and Wyatt Thompson gonna round out your top 3. See some congratulatory bumps going to the 39 as we'll see him burn it down here on the front stretch here at Motegi. See him park the car in victory lane. We'll go ahead and look at your unofficial race results here, brought to you by HVTV as we get ready, as we wait on some of your drivers to get into the waiting room. Jordan Fisher victorious here at Motegi, Twin Ring Motegi. Wyatt Youngblood will sneak out to a P2 finish after the 88, losing it out of 4, coming to the checkered. And Wyatt Thompson will sneak out with the P3 finish. Joseph Enright with the P4. Gabriel Ngoli, top 5. Great run for that 55 machine. Justin Wilkes, we hadn't heard from him all day, and he's going to come out here with the top 6. Joseph Smith will battle back to a P7 after being a very dominating car. Benjamin Bushnell, P8. Dalton Bernius in the 69 P9, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be Oliver Quinney in that 41 machine. Rounding out the rest of the field here, Brian White in 11th, Jeffrey Herrick in P12, Blair Saunders in P13, and Dorian Davis P14. That's he went from P2 in points, P2 points finish to P14 points finish. That's bad luck for the 88 there. 15th back there is a 45 of Eskridge. 16th, Andrew Tenold in the 51. Zach Case back there at 17th. Jared Valley back there at P18. P19 of Nicholas Amons, and Dustin Hardy back there at P20. I believe that's the rest of your field there. And we'll get ready to talk to your top 3 finishers, but first, we'll give a huge shout out to some of our partners over here at iRacing, and we'll go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll talk to your top 3 finishers. Welcome back to the post-race show for the Prestige Cup Series here at Twin Ring Motegi as we get ready to talk to you, your race winner for tonight's race, and Jordan Fisher. Hey Jordan, is Christian up here in the HVTV booth? Got a copy?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Well, a dominating performance by you once again here in this 39 machine at Twin Ring Motegi. You know, we're looking at the stats now, 98 of 138 laps. So just walk us through your race and walk us through what gave you that edge here tonight at Twin Ring?
Man, this was such a hard combo with this track. I mean, it really showed the dirty air and wanting to. The second, I lost some of the track position and went back, just inside the top 10. That dirty air really went and showed. But definitely, early on, just the mindset was to save tires. That's kind of the whole thing. And then with all the cautions that were coming out, it was obviously saving fuel and playing the strategy right there. And towards the end there, we made the call to pit around lap 90-ish or so. I can't remember exactly, but there was a kind of a split field where half the field's pitted early, and we were just had enough fuel to the end, and then the other kind of half pitted a little bit later. So just making the right strategy call there and having the track position to control the dirty air. So
Yeah, looking back at like the way the pit strategy called, obviously you said right there, pitted around 45 to go to make it to the end. We saw some guys like the Wyatt Thompson and Wyatt Youngblood who, well, just Thompson I think actually, who made it up into the top three, who pitted there at the end there. Do you really think that track position meant a lot more than the freshies there at the end?
I mean, I definitely think there was a factor. I mean, Wyatt Thompson and Wyatt Youngblood both were exceptionally fast tonight. There was no doubt about that. They were guys I had to keep an eye on, as well as Skindorian Davis, another really fast driver. Joseph Smith had a really good night, as well as Blair Saunders. So I think everyone kind of drove great out there tonight. But ultimately, like I said, between track position, controlling the dirty air, and just getting the runs out of the corners, being really, really smooth to use every inch of this track. It's such a wide track, so you really had to use every inch to be smooth with the tires.
Yeah, and looking back, just at Motegi itself, obviously a pretty unfamiliar track, I feel like, for a lot of you guys here. Probably for some people here, the first time they've ever ran here. Do you think that was an advantage for you coming into kind of an unknown track, or something that you kind of had to adapt to as well?
Maybe, I think ultimately it just comes down to everybody's own perspective on just track time. If they had practice time to get familiar with the track that none of us really have ran. So I haven't really ran. I've never ran here before, and it was an interesting kind of track where 1 and 2 is it's a long sweeping. You got to be patient to late apex it, and 3 and 4 kind of felt like a sweeper corner. So applying other corners, some different tracks into this configuration at Twin Ring Motegi kind of helped a little bit understanding other tracks and how to run around here. So yeah, I mean we were hooked up. We were pretty dang fast all night long. So it was very pleased with the speed today.
Not really a whole lot you could have done differently. Every time you gave the lead away, you got it back within a 10-lap run there. But besides that, still great win for you once again. Putting you, I would say, in the favorite to win this championship. Obviously, long ways to go with Jacob Quill not racing with us here in the Prestige Cup Series. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank here for your win here at Motegi?
Yeah, I want to thank you for broadcasting this race. It's really awesome anytime Prestige can put on a show with for broadcast races. I want to thank Grumpy Motorsports for giving me this ride in this great series here. I want to thank Team Conti Sim Performance, Matt Busa, helping me out here quite a bit. And I want to thank Hardy Designs for making awesome liveries. Just everybody on the track, racing clean out there, the admin team. This is really it's a great league overall. So, you're a fish.
Well, we appreciate the kind words up here from the broadcast perspective. But once again, another dominating win for you. Once again, we're going in next week. Hopefully, we can talk to you back up here, Victor Lane, once again. But we'll let you go back there and celebrate, and get ready for next week.
Thank you, sir. You're the fish.
Yep. Have a good rest of the night. That was your race winner. And Jordan Fisher said, "Fear the fish." I mean, I think everybody is. But we'll go ahead and take a look and talk to your P2 finish there in Wyatt Youngblood. Hey, Wyatt, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, a very up and down race for you. Got it caught up in a wreck or two, but somehow managed to get yourself up here into a P2 finish. So just walk us through your race and walk us, how you got yourself into position to go up there and potentially try to race for the win, if maybe with some more time.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I mean, my qualifying run was better than I thought it would be, and it wasn't even that great. And I just started falling off from there because I'm not good at tire saving at all. That's one of my weaknesses, and that caused me to be a set short on tires for the entire race because I had to come down before everybody else did, and I was somehow able to conserve my tires enough to like be able to be there at the end. And I feel bad for Ken though. Like he had such a good run all race and he was constantly up front, but I was just as soon as he spun, I was just hoping I made the gap and didn't wreck and hoping I still got the podium. But it all worked out for us and I'm just excited to have my best finish of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare that you see someone, especially with Kindorian's talent, coming to the checkered, kind of loose it off a four there. But what was going through your head as obviously you were talking about just trying to get it there, but what obviously not something you expect coming out of four there, having your teammate lose it out there. What was going through your head trying to get back to the line there?
Uh, I a lot of things because I had Thompson in my mirror, and obviously I don't want to be blocking him all over the track because he's my teammate, and I don't want to get him wrecked. So I'm watching my mirror and watching Ken at the same time, hoping he doesn't slide back up, and he didn't, and Wyatt Thompson got around him, and yeah, that was just chaotic.
Yeah, it definitely looked chaotic in the booth. We had to go out of our way to go back and look at what happened with him with the 88 machine, but still a great run for you. Obviously, regardless of what happened to Ken there at the end, would have got at least a P3 finish there. So still a good run for you considering what happened throughout the whole race. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for this P2 finish here at Motegi?
Oh yeah, just the league, just they do a great job running it, and Top Speed Graphics, THD Designs, uh, just everybody that helps me race. So yeah, just just glad to be here.
Well, like I said, great finish for you. Hopefully you can keep this momentum going and we can maybe talk to you once again next week. But once again, congratulations on this P2 finish and we'll let you go to maybe talk to you later.
Yep, thank you.
That was your P2 finisher and Wyatt Youngblood. We'll talk to Wyatt's teammate and the other Wyatt and Wyatt Thompson here in this number 77 machine. Hey Wyatt, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I believe I do.
Well, strong finish for you, a really strong car and strong performance for you here at Motegi. Coming up here P3 after the misfortune of the 88 there and Ken Davis there at the end, looping it, coming to the white. But walk us through, race and walk us through how you got up here in the P3.
I really don't think I deserve a podium. Ken's one of my good friends. I think he really needs to be up here, but that mistake just kind of cost him quite a bit, especially that last lap. I stayed out a bit too long on tires. I was trying to keep that track position, and it was working. Just dirty air is so bad in these cars. That track position becomes way too important, but it was a pretty good race. To join the session with 0 seconds left and to get on the grid with 20 seconds left, I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, well, I was wondering because like we saw you on the track and I was like, I didn't even see him in qualifying. It was kind of a shock to me to see you in here. But you know, going back to that dirty air, obviously we saw you stay out there and we saw you legitimately hold up, the 39 and the 31 who seemed like to have the best cars there. And even Jordan, when we were talking to him earlier for his victory interview, talks about the dirty air. How much was the dirty air affecting the cars here tonight?
I mean, it's just like every other track. The same thing happens. You get away from like 2/10, 3/10 back. You get super tight as soon as they're anywhere near you, and then there's a second between first place, second between second place, third. It goes all the way back. It's just bad racing in the next gen.
And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes here in the next gen. And it's cool to see some of the guys who can navigate the dirty air better, kind of like yourself. Obviously, sitting up here in P3, regardless of how you got it, right? Obviously, you came down late to take those tires to try to drive your way through the field. Do you think that tires really meant a whole lot comparatively to that dirty air tonight?
That's kind of a middle of the road call. It kind of depends on I'd say really how the others used their tires, but I'd really say because I stayed out, I had 18 or so lap old tires. They had like maybe 5 or so. So that 13, he was still right on me. I had to be really good with defending. So tires weren't too bad. Just that initial fall off is what really took everything. You couldn't even get through the field.
Well, regardless of tire fall off or not, or dirty air or not, you still somehow find your way up here in the P3. So before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out for this podium finish?
Just like to shout out Frost Motorsports for being a great team that I'm a part of, and Prospects Focus for sponsoring me.
Well, it's still a fantastic race for you. Obviously, you got a good finish to go along with it. But we're going to let you go and get prepared for next week. But hopefully we can talk to you maybe a couple spots better.
All right, thank you. You have a nice stream.
Yep, you too. And that was Wyatt Thompson, your P3 finisher for tonight's race. And we'll get ready to start your post-race show here, brought to you by HVTV. And, you know, everybody at home, I really feel like, you know, coming into it, I didn't really expect a whole lot, and I think we got really good racing here. Obviously, we saw Jordan Fisher, regardless of where he was, drive up through the field. Remember, he started back there in P7, I believe, one time during the restart, drove up through the field here. Obviously, you have to give a huge kind of an honorable mention to Joseph Smith in that 31. Really had a really strong run tonight, which they got caught up in a couple of wrecks at the end there, which forced his hand there. Ends up getting a P7 finish, but I think definitely deserves a good honorable mention. Obviously, you have to give another honorable mention to Dorian Davis. Was in P2 coming out of 4 on the white flag, and just unfortunately just lost it out of 4. He's going to end up at P14, a huge points loss for that 88 machine. But despite that, I feel like, you know, everybody who we talked to tonight post-race really covered it very well. The dirty air was definitely an effect, but obviously you saw some guys who could go up there, put their car in a different spot to go up there and make moves at the end there to get themselves up to the front there. But besides that, really good racing, and you know, it was surprisingly good for what I expected here for tonight. But we did just finish up Motegi here. Next week we go to, it's funny to say this, but we go to a similar shaped track here at Gateway for next week in the Prestige Cup Series. You know, Motegi kind of a bigger, banked version of Gateway, so hopefully they could take some of the unique characteristics here from Twin Ring Motegi, bringing in the Gateway. Obviously a shorter track, flatter track, but hopefully they can take it to there. But once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead commentator and producer for tonight's race, and I appreciate everybody for coming out, watching the stream, watching the broadcast from wherever you are, whether you're watching on Twitch, whether you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the channel and everything else. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the broadcast, sharing the broadcast with friends and family, and hitting that subscribe button would really mean a lot. But besides that, I appreciate everybody coming out and watching the broadcast. I hope everybody has a good rest of the night. Hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast. I know I definitely had a great time calling the race tonight here from Twin Ring Motegi. But once again, my name was Christian Delgado, your lead commentator and producer for tonight's race. I hope everybody has a great rest of the night.